where we had truly gotten a bigger number, that is given to the MPP candidate, and then his less number is given to us. And that was strange. You know, so last week when we sat and were doing the collation, we began to notice these things. And by the time we were done, we had noticed about 31 of the polling stations where such things had happened.
They swapped your results?
Where they swapped our results with his result. So in a particular polling station, for instance, where we got 266, and then he had 192, they gave the 192 to on their pink sheet. They gave the 192 to us and gave the 266 to him. But on our pink sheets, we had the 266 and then he had the 192. So our argument to them was that, look, we don't manufacture these pink sheets. These pink sheets are copies of what you give to us. You know, and so if you've given us pink sheets, and they looked at the pink sheet, they examined it. There was nothing wrong with that particular sheet. The pink sheet that we had. You know, now the 31 pink sheets that we have, if you collate the numbers that we have, the ones that we have, we would have been leading party. We would have gotten our 52.92% of the total vote that had been casted. But when you switch the figures, which is consistent with the pink sheets they're working with today, then you would have the figure that is having today, which is again even different from what he had projected. This is about a third or fourth figure that you know from what he had projected that he had won. This is totally even different.
I see.
You know, and so that was the point that we were making to them. Today, when we got there, the first thing we checked on was realized that the returning officers had declined to be part of it. If you look at what was happening.
So Okakwe Central returning
the same thing
was not
part of it. So then they had said that there was a deputy returning officer. Then we questioned. What shows that he has the authority or mandate to actually be the returning officer, because the original returning officer should be the one actually returning this particular election results as well. Then they explained that this morning, today, he had been appointed as returning officer. Then I demanded from the original returning officer that what shows that he's actually been appointed. They said they have a letter. They want to show it to us. I said, no, I need a copy of it. So in actual fact, my first condition was that before that proceeds, in actual fact, they need to produce a letter indicating that this person is mandated and authorized to actually continue with the
Did you ever get the letter?
They didn't. She just showed it on. I said, no, I cannot take what is actually on your phone. You need to give us a copy. Then the second aspect of it was that, well, by the time we had gotten there, they had started and said that they are through with about 24 of it. Then we started to raise the objections to it. Then one of the officers came in, and senior officers, the deputy regional officer who had come in with what they call it, Afenyo-Markin this morning, who had come in with him, so said that, okay, well, let's begin to lead. Then we pointed out to them and said, look, last week when we came, there was a challenge. The challenge we noticed was that some of the master pink sheet that you brought to us, the numbers are different. The numbers have been swapped. What do we do when such scenarios play out in this particular instance? Then there was a stalemate. So we said to them that we need to actually find out a way on how to deal with this, because it would then show that it is criminal. Numbers were forged, numbers were cooked for the MPP candidate. And in actual fact, Patrick Obama knows deep within his heart he didn't win this election. If Patrick Obama is actually winning elections in the Kaikwe Central, he wins with a margin of about 9,800. If he's having to hold on to 1,200, 1,700, he knows deep within his heart he didn't win this particular election.
He knows deep within his heart.
He knows it. Look, his demeanor from last week, his approach from last week, and this is last week when we met during the collation. His agents had been clear. This was captured live on TV3 that they didn't have pink sheet. In fact, they said that their pink sheet was collected, they were beaten and it was collected from them. Now, today, and to that point, Otokuno actually even shot back and asked them that if indeed your pink sheet had been, you've been beaten, pink sheet had been collected from you, did you report to the police? They didn't report to the police. Today, rather interestingly, for just one of the polling stations, they produced a pink sheet which they were hideous about. Then subsequently, we said to them that, okay, in the first instance, you have said that the MPP should produce their pink sheet so they can do the comparisons. Okay, subsequently, when we go in, let's see the pink sheet from the MPP. The MP was sitting down there and telling them, no, they should carry on, They didn't produce it. They searched, they didn't find it. And then, almost as if they were singing in unison, the voice and the narrative of the MPP was the same as the ECs. Almost like, oh, go ahead, they are doing their job. They've asked they are going to work with their original pink sheet. But we have said to them that, look, we're not going to prevent you from working with your original pink sheet, but we have challenges with it. Where your numbers are totally different, or where the numbers have been swapped, what then do you do with it? Because these pink sheets are your products. these are not my product. These are copies of master pink sheets that you gave to us. This is what you gave to us. This is what we worked with. In that instance, what do we do? Because quite clearly, forgery had happened. Quite clearly, some criminal activities had happened related to the numbers. So numbers had been forged and cooked. In that regard, we cannot accept this. You know, so then they tried to look. Almost all the officers that came in, when they looked at it, they were confused. They looked at the pink sheets. They were confused. They were dumbfounded. They just didn't know what to do. Only but for them to say that, oh, they are just going to carry on because the instruction is that they should proceed with their master pink sheets. So I said, okay, so what do we do with the pink sheet that we've given to us? That shows that we've actually won. You know, but quite clearly,
the EC officials came today.
They came today to just to be able to, with the mindset of taking the nice. And look, from the morning when we saw the first thing I made, when I saw Afenyo-Markin, for instance, I questioned him after, what is he doing here when you've asked some senior members of our party, or what is he doing here when people are not here, when there's nobody here? When you are not even allowing certain people.
Plus 2 agents.
Yes. So what is he doing here in the first place? But he comes in here. He goes in to meet the original. He comes here. He goes in to meet the original. What do you call it? Election officers. They come in. They get engaged in their coalition, and he stands in there, almost pressurizing them and telling them what to do, pointing to them what to do. Your cameras were there. See him all over the place. In most of the declarations, you could see him actually standing there with his hand, almost trying to prep them up for them to do what they want to do. And this is not right. Look, the people of Okaikwe Central have decided. The people of Okaikwe Central they rarely speak. In the last 3 election cycles, you could see that what they had said. In this particular election, if you look at polling station by polling station, there were polling stations that, if you take it out, polling station by polling station, and asking with everybody with all the evidence, you would see. There are a string of polling stations, for instance, that we do not win. Original ward, right behind the Abeka Market. This has been a safe polling station that Patrobama wins. These are 6 polling stations, right? We won 5 out of them. 5 out of them. Everybody, pictures, videos, everything shows that we won that 5 polling stations. Today, today, the details that they have at the EC shows that he had won 3 out of the polling stations. How? Again, in the polling station, there are polling stations called the Restoration Police Station near the Jacob School. These are 7 polling stations. We want all these polling stations. Everybody that was there sees. We had the pink sheet. It was there. The jubilation was right. You could see the numbers and everything. Today, out of the 7 polling stations, they are telling us he won 4 out of that polling stations. How is that possible? How is that possible?
So the normal picture is that when there's a coalition going on, you, the MPP candidate, the NDC candidate, the polling station, that's your pink sheet results should tell you what the EC has.
Right.
Yes, because you have a duplicate.
Because that's a duplicate.
The MPP also has a duplicate. But in the Okaikwe Central situation, you had a duplicate.
Right.
And the Electoral Commission's original so-called did not have the duplicate figures that you had.
Exactly, it didn't have that.
And the MPP didn't have their pink
sheets. The MPP didn't have their pink sheets.
And the declaration was made.
Was made.
Was still made.
I see.